So what does it really mean to be free? It's a huge question, isn't it? Especially today. We tend to think freedom means getting more control, more money, more time, nailing those achievements. We chase that feeling that if we just manage everything perfectly, then freedom. But what if that's not it at all? What if, and this sounds a bit weird maybe, the key isn't control, but surrender. Now, I know surrender, it can sound like losing, like giving up. It might even make you feel a bit uncomfortable. But look, when you dive into some really deep wisdom traditions, think Jesus, think Buddha, think Zen masters, they all point towards this radical idea about letting go of the fight. So today, that's our mission in this deep dive, to really explore what surrender means. Not weakness, but maybe a path to a kind of freedom nothing can touch. We'll look through the eyes of these ancient traditions, and honestly, it might just challenge how you think about freedom altogether.
It is fascinating, isn't it? Just how deep that drive to control runs in us. I mean, think about how much energy most of us pour into managing every little thing. Schedules, feelings, outcomes, even things way outside our influence. And you can probably feel that tension it creates, right? Just considering it. But like you said, this isn't about throwing your hands up or just being passive. Not at all. We're talking about a different kind of freedom. One that comes from, well, stopping the fight with reality, stepping out of that constant wrestle. It's an inner thing. Doesn't depend on what's happening outside. That's why these traditions saw it as like the ultimate freedom.
Okay, yeah, let's really unpack surrender then.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to immediately clear up the confusion.
Yeah.
When we talk about surrender, we are definitely not saying give up. It is not weakness. It's not defeat, honestly.
Yeah.
It probably takes more courage than fighting. The real meaning, the way these paths see it, is about releasing that illusion. The illusion that we actually can control everything, or even that we should. Think about it. How much effort goes into forcing things, bending situations to our will, and what happens? Usually just more tension, right? More stress, more suffering. True surrender. It's more like acknowledging that life has its own flow, its own intelligence, and maybe our constant meddling just, messes it up.
And that's often the big aha moment for people, isn't it? It's that specific point where you consciously decide to stop battling what is, not because you're beaten, but because you choose trust over resistance, trust in the flow. Some call it quiet strength. It's a really grounded, brave act of just saying yes. Yes to this moment exactly as it is. You know those times maybe you're stuck in traffic or some big plan just falls apart completely.
Oh, yeah.
You feel that knot tightening up, your jaw clenching.
Definitely.
That's the feeling of trying to control what you just can't control. Surrender offers another way. It's relief from that exhausting fight inside. It's about seeing that trying to control the uncontrollable. That's the source of the pain, not the path to freedom.
That difference between control and real freedom, it's huge. And seeing it through these different traditions really highlights it. Let's start with, a really powerful example. Jesus. His teachings often touch on letting go, but maybe the most famous line is, "Not my will, but yours be done." Now, a lot of people hear that as just resignation, giving in to fate.
Passive acceptance.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you look closer, it seems like anything but passive. It wasn't just giving up his own wants because things were tough. It feels more like a conscious, even radical alignment with something much bigger than himself.
Yeah.
A deep trust in, let's say, a divine intelligence, a will beyond what the everyday mind with all its fears can really grasp.
Yeah.
It was like recognizing that real strength wasn't in forcing his way, but in letting that higher order, that divine will, guide him, even when it was incredibly hard.
And that really brings up a key question for us, doesn't it? How can saying, "Not my will, but yours be done," be an act of profound courage, not just rolling over? Because it means letting go of the ego's need to be in charge. It's recognizing that the deepest power we can access doesn't come from tightening our grip on the outside world. It comes from cultivating this unwavering trust in something larger. For Jesus, that was trust in a benevolent divine will. It was finding this incredible, solid strength through that surrender, not despite it.
So it's a source of strength, not a lack of it.
Precisely. To surrender like that, as he showed, is to choose consciously to live in harmony with life's own current instead of constantly swimming against it. It's a kind of radical humility, acknowledging our own limited view and opening up to something, vaster, more intelligent.
Okay, so from that deep sense of divine alignment with Jesus, let's shift to the wisdom of Buddha. He also pointed to liberation, freedom, but maybe framed a bit differently, though you can hear the echoes. For Buddha, the path to freedom really starts with letting go. That's explicit. His core teaching, basically, is that our suffering doesn't come so much from bad things happening, though they do happen and hurt, but from our tendency to cling. We cling to things that, by their very nature, don't last. Our desires, our fears, even our sense of who we are, our identity, the stories we build up about ourselves.
Yeah, those stories can be powerful.
Right. It's this tight grip, often unconscious, on things that are always changing, things you can't really hold on to. That's what creates the inner turmoil, the dissatisfaction. And for Buddha, even that solid idea of me, of a fixed self, is part of what we cling to, and it's also impermanent. We hold on to these narratives, sometimes even painful ones, because letting go feels scary, like stepping into emptiness.
And if you look at the bigger picture there, Buddha's insight is incredibly freeing. The moment we start to loosen that grip just a little on our expectations, our need for things to be a certain way, our fixed ideas, especially that fixed idea of me, life just seems to soften. You feel it.
Yeah, like a tension releasing.
Exactly. There's this transformative realization that everything we thought we had to hold on to, everything we thought was ours, well, it was never really ours to keep in the first place. It was always flowing, always changing. So the connection is really direct and clear. Letting go is freedom. Releasing those attachments, even the attachment to our own story. That's how we awaken. It's finding freedom not by getting more, but by becoming lighter.
Unburdened. That's a powerful shift, isn't it? Not just letting go of stuff, but letting go of the idea of how things should be. Even our own identity. It feels so counter to how we're usually taught to operate, in a world that rewards pushing harder.
Yeah.
So how does this play out in a tradition like Zen, which often seems less about talk and more about direct?
Yeah.
Well, doing.
Or maybe not doing. That's a great point. Zen is interesting because it doesn't actually use the word surrender all that much, not explicitly, but its core practice, it's silent, it kind of says it all. Think about sitting in Zazen, which is the heart of Zen meditation. You're not really trying to achieve anything specific, you're just being aware, observing.
Right.
And what happens pretty quickly, you notice how incredibly little is under your direct conscious command. Your breath just breathes itself. Thoughts just pop up and fade away, often totally uninvited. The sounds outside, the feelings inside, they just happen.
You become more of a witness.
Exactly. You're fundamentally witnessing, not directing, so much of what you experience. The profound simplicity in Zen is that it isn't asking you to perform an act called surrender. It's inviting you to realize the state of surrender.
So it's less an action to take and more like allowing something to fall away, revealing what's already there underneath the effort. That's really interesting.
Precisely. A Zen master might just say, maybe with a little smile, when you stop chasing, you find what you were looking for. That really gets to the heart of it. Surrender in Zen isn't another task on your spiritual checklist. It's not something extra to do. It's simply what remains. What's left when all that effort to control, to grasp, to fix, to manipulate just falls away. It's that natural state of being, effortless being, a kind of deep peace that just shows up when you stop striving, when you stop trying to push the river. Think about how radical that is. What if the key to everything you're actually seeking isn't found in more effort, but in the release from struggle? It's this invitation to just trust the moment right now as it is, letting life be life.
Wow. So this whole deep dive, it really points to one core thing, doesn't it? Freedom isn't really found in holding on tighter. It's found in letting go. It's not about controlling everything, but about trusting life itself, whether you call that divine will or the flow of impermanence or just the unfolding present moment. We saw Jesus through ultimate devotion, surrendering to a higher love, finding incredible strength there. We saw Buddha pointing the way to liberation by surrendering to truth, letting go of the chains of attachment. And Zen, with its quiet focus on just being here, invites surrender to this moment, where life is already whole, already complete, just as it is. So when we really embrace that phrase, I surrender, it's not about giving up on life at all. It's more like coming home to stillness, to a freedom that's always inside, to this quiet grace that's been there all along, just waiting for us to stop fighting it.
Yeah.
It helps you see that the struggle isn't usually with the world outside, is it? It's often with our own resistance to the world.
Indeed. It's not about giving up power, but maybe understanding where real, unshakable power actually comes from. So, with all that in mind, reflecting on these ancient ideas and how they might shift the way you approach your own life, here's something to really sit with. What would you truly feel, if you actually let go?